A single cold bottle of water cost about 2,000 times the same water from the tap. Everyone knows. It's been a punchline for 20 years, and bottled water is still America's best-selling drink, 9 years running. The markup didn't survive because nobody noticed. It survived because one sentence never had to be printed. The story the internet tells goes like this. Bottled water is mostly tap water. An advocacy group, Food and Water Watch, put the share at roughly 2/3. And the two biggest purified brands don't argue. Their water starts at a municipal source. The same pipes? Then 2007. Under public pressure, Pepsi agreed to print 3 words on Aquafiner's label, public water source. The story got retold as a confession. The industry court forced to admit the scam on the bottle itself. It's a satisfying story. The markup is real, the tap water is real, the label is real. But one word is wrong, and it's the load-bearing one. Forced. Nobody forced anything. No regulator ordered those 3 words. No law required them. The reason why is the actual story. There is a disclosure law for bottled water. It was written with a door in it. Start with the regulation. Title 21, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 165.110. The FDA's identity standard for bottled water. It says, water from a community water system shall be labeled from a community water system or from a municipal source. Plain English on the bottle, by law. Then comes the exception. Unless that water has been treated, distilled, deionized, run through reverse osmosis, until it meets the definition of purified water and is labeled as purified. Treat the tap water, call it purified, and the municipal source disclosure is no longer required. Not waived case by case. Not argued for. Written into the standard itself. The one fact that would deflate the premium is legally optional to print. Aquafina and Dasani sit exactly inside that exception, which reframes 2007. The wire stories from that July are still up. Pepsi didn't lose a case. It made a concession, dated July 27th, after a campaign group, Corporate Accountability International, had spent months pointing at the mountains on the label, spring imagery over water that came out of public systems. Pepsi's spokesman said that if it helped clarify where the water originated, it was a reasonable thing to do. And here's the detail almost nobody retells. Aquafina's label already disclosed the source. It read, bottled at the source, PWS, Public Water Source, as an acronym. The disclosure was there. It was just written so no shopper could read it. So the label never had to say what the water was. Next question, what the water costs. Not at retail, at the source. That number is public because municipal water has a rate card. New York City's Water Board publishes one every fiscal year as a public schedule. The current edition took effect at the start of this month. The metered rate, $5.35, buys 100 cubic feet, and the schedule does its own conversion, 748 gallons. Per litre, about 1/5 of a cent, and that's after a 6% rate rise. The board also bills sewer at 159% of the water charge. Hold that, it matters in a moment. A single-serve bottle holds 20 fluid ounces. Run the arithmetic. The municipal water inside a bottle retailing for about $2 costs about 1/10 of a cent. That's the whole water bill. Charge the bottle for New York sewer too, and it's still under 1/3 of a cent. The water is roughly 1/20,000th of the price. So, what is the rest buying? The industry has answered, in writing filed with the SEC. The largest pure-play water company in America is Primo Brands. Poland Spring, Deer Park, Pure Life, all under one roof since a late 2024 merger, trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Last year, about $5.2 billion in sales. Its annual report has a section for the input costs that could hurt the business if prices moved, the risks it is legally obliged to disclose to its shareholders. The list: resin, the plastic the bottles are blown from; diesel for the fleet; propane, freight. Water is not on the list. Roughly 68 cents of every revenue dollar went to making and moving product. Bottles, trucks, cold chain. The filing prices the business honestly. This is a logistics company. Plastic, fuel, and distance, wearing a purity label. So assemble the case. The product is municipal water. The brand's own labels say so. The water costs about 1/10 of a cent. The city's own rate card says so. The real costs are plastic and diesel. The industry's own filings say so. Every document is public. Nothing here is hidden because nothing has to be. The one disclosure that would put all three facts in the shopper's hand at the shelf was never required. The premium doesn't live in a lie. It lives in a gap, an image of mountain purity the law never obliged anyone to correct. That's the mechanism. Not a scam, a permission structure. And it runs on a demand engine. Every headline that erodes trust in the pipes, Flint, lead lines, PFAS, makes the bottle the easy yes. Distrust of tap water is what holds the price up, which is why the strongest objection deserves a hearing. An honest file states the other side. Here it is, played straight. Nobody at a kiosk thinks they're buying water molecules. They're buying cold, sealed, portable. The same deal as a $2 soda, which is also mostly water and draws no outrage. The convenience is real and honestly delivered. The safety holds up too. Between 2023 and 2024, the FDA tested 197 bottled waters for PFAS, the forever chemicals. 10 had detectable traces. Not one exceeded the federal drinking water limits. And for anyone whose city has failed them, Flint, Jackson, distrust of tap isn't irrational. It's earned. Even the number needs its scope. 2,000 times is the single-serve margin, the coldest bottle in the most convenient place at the most convenient moment. Charge that same bottle for New York sewer, the honest accounting, and the multiple drops to roughly 750. Buy water by the case instead, and it collapses by roughly another factor of 10. All true. None of it breaks the case. A fair price for cold logistics doesn't need a labeling exemption to survive. The convenience justifies a premium. It doesn't explain the silence. This channel opens one file like this every week. One ordinary thing, one number nobody counts. Subscribing is how the next file finds you, because this one closes where it started. 20 years of mockery, and America drank 16.4 billion gallons last year. A record, again. The exemption is still on the books. Checked this month. And somewhere in a cooler right now is a bottle marked public water source. 3 words the law never required. The water inside costs about 1/10 of a cent. The other $2 buy everything the label doesn't have to mention. 1/10 of a cent. The value nobody counts.